Stop everything. If you thought Formula One was going to be a smooth transition into the 2026 era, you were dead wrong. As of today, February 17, 2026, the F1 paddock isn't just buzzing, it's in a state of absolute civil war. We are less than 3 weeks away from the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, and right now, the FIA is sitting in emergency meetings that could decide the fate of the entire World Championship before a single light has even gone out. We're talking about ghost horsepower in the Mercedes engines, a Ferrari starting procedure that rivals are calling dangerously illegal, and a shocking admission from Adrian Newey that his new Aston Martin is, and I quote, simply not working yet. If you've been following this channel, you know we've been tracking the technical loopholes of these new 1,000 horsepower hybrid monsters. But today, the data from the final pre-season runs has finally leaked, and it confirms our worst fears. Some teams have found a way to cheat the physics of the new regulations. Before we dive into the secret 18:1 ratio that Mercedes is using to humiliate the grid, do me a massive favor. We are on a mission to hit 800 subscribers before the cars hit the track in Melbourne. If you want the truth that the official F1 broadcast won't tell you, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. You don't want to be the only fan who doesn't know why the cars are suddenly 4 seconds slower or faster than they should be. Let's start with the biggest story of the morning, the Great Start scandal. If you watched the testing footage closely, you might have seen the McLaren literally stall and die on the grid during a practice start. They aren't alone. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton have both called these new 2026 starts a recipe for disaster. Why? Because the FIA removed the MGUH. That was the piece of tech that kept the turbo spinning. Without it, these cars have massive turbo lag. To get a good start, you have to rev the engine to nearly 11,000 RPM while stationary just to get enough boost pressure. But here is the update. Ferrari has officially blocked a rule change that would have made starts easier. Why would they do that? Because rumors from the Scuderia garage suggest the F26 has a revolutionary micro-turbo design that spools up 30% faster than Mercedes or Red Bull. Today, Lewis Hamilton was spotted doing a 22-second stationary rev, 22 seconds of pure heat soak just to get the car to launch. Rivals are calling this a fire hazard, but Ferrari is laughing. They know that if the rules stay exactly as they are, Lewis could be P1 by the first corner in Melbourne simply because his car doesn't bog down like the rest of the grid. Is it a safety risk? Yes. Is it genius? Absolutely. The F1 Commission is meeting right now to decide if they will force a software override to stop Ferrari from doing this. If they don't, expect a Ferrari lockout in Australia. Now, let's get into the technical crime of the century. We've been hearing whispers about the 18:1 compression ratio for weeks. For those who need a refresher, the 2026 rules strictly mandate a maximum compression ratio of 16:1. This was supposed to level the playing field for newcomers like Audi and Ford. But today, reports are surfacing that Mercedes HPP in Brixworth has developed a piston made of a proprietary smart alloy. Here is how the trick works. When the engine is cold and the FIA inspectors measure it, the ratio is a legal 16:1. But once that V6 hits operating temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius, the metal expands in a very specific, calculated way. This expansion reduces the volume of the combustion chamber, effectively jumping the compression to 18:1 while the car is at full tilt on the straight. This is ghost horsepower. It doesn't exist on the static sensor data, but it's there on the stopwatch. We're talking about a 0-second advantage per lap. Today, Ferrari and McLaren officially notified the FIA that they intend to protest the Mercedes engine in Melbourne if a technical directive isn't issued this week. Mercedes' defense. They claim the car only has to be legal during measurement. If the engine changes shape while it's running, they call that thermal dynamics. It is a legal war that could see the podium in Australia disqualified hours after the race ends. While Mercedes and Ferrari are fighting over who is cheating better, there is a dark cloud over Silverstone. Adrian Newey, the man who was supposed to save Aston Martin, has just given the most depressing interview of the year. Usually, Newey is a master of hiding his true pace, but today's news is different. Lance Stroll was caught on a hot mic saying the AM26 is 4 to 5 seconds off the pace. That isn't sandbagging, that's a crisis. The integration with the new Honda engine is reportedly a nightmare, because Aston Martin is now a full works team. They are building their own gearboxes for the first time. Sources say the vibration from the Honda V6 is so violent that it is literally shattering the carbon fiber casing of the gearbox after just 20 laps. Newey admitted today that it's not working at the moment. For a man of his stature to say that publicly is a massive red flag. Fernando Alonso looks visibly frustrated in the cockpit, with the car suffering from axle locking, meaning the front and rear wheels are losing sync during the heavy energy harvesting required by the 2026 rules. If they don't bring a massive B-spec update soon, Alonso might be fighting for P15 instead of the podium. And finally, we have to talk about the world champion. Max Verstappen hasn't been holding back. Today, he doubled down on his claim that the 2026 cars are Formula E on steroids. Max is furious about the active aero. In 2086, the front and rear wings move constantly to balance the car. Max says it feels unnatural and dangerous because the car's balance shifts mid-corner. He even hinted today that he is exploring other things outside of F1 for his fun. Is this a retirement threat? Maybe. But more likely, it's a power play. Verstappen knows that if the fans think the cars are boring and slow, the sport loses value. He's trying to force the FIA to give the drivers more manual control over the energy deployment. Right now, the cars are basically driving themselves to save battery power. If you're a fan of pure racing, Max Verstappen is currently your only hope of stopping F1 from becoming a science experiment. This 2026 season is going to be the most chaotic, litigious, and controversial year in the history of the sport. We've got shape-shifting engines, illegal starts, and a grid that is terrified of their own cars. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Mercedes should be banned for the 18th C1 expansion trick, or is Ferrari's 22-second rev limit more of a safety concern? Drop a comment below with TM 2026 if you're ready for the madness, or let me know if you agree with Max that the sport is moving in the wrong direction. We are so close to our 800 subscriber goal. Every single sub helps me keep digging for these technical leaks that the big networks won't cover. Hit that button, smash the like, and I'll see you in the next one where we dive deep into the secret active aero buttons that the FIA doesn't want you to see. Thanks for watching.